So in this session, along with few more next sessions, I am going to cover the SSL configuration in WebLogic servers. Okay, so we have two kind of a certificates, self-sign and third-party CA certificate. So I will show you both how to configure the self-sign certificate and then how to configure the CA certificates. Okay, but before that, I will explain you the complete end-to-end action plan. Okay, what is the action plan that we follow? What are the different commands that we run? What are the different arguments that we pass to the commands? What is the purpose of each and every option? Sorry, that we specify in the command. Okay, so that means first we will discuss about the completely the end-to-end action plan of the SSL configurations. Once that is clear to you, then we'll move forward. Then first we will configure the SSL sign certificates, and then we will configure the CA sign certificates for the WebLogic server. Okay, so the very first step is to create the key stores. But it contain our certificates and the public and private keys, right? So the very first time when you are going for the SSL configuration, you need to configure a key store. Okay, and this is your identity store, right? What we have learned so far about the key stores, we have two kind of a key stores, identity and trust, right? So identity will contain your identity, right? Your website name, your organization address, your public and private keys. So very first thing, we create a key store, which is also referred as the identity store. Okay, which will contain your public and private key. Along with that, it will contain your self-signed certificate as well. So that means when you run the command, for example, key tool command to create your identity store, it automatically create a public and private key pair along with the self-signed certificate for you. This is the very first step, right? Second is, you have to decide whether you are going for the self-signed certificate configuration or you are going with the third-party CA configuration, certificate configurations. Okay, so if it is a production and live environment, then we always go with the third-party CA certificate authority, right? So in that case, we have to go to this step. If we are going with the configuration of the self-signed certificate, then this step is not applicable because we do not reach any of the certificate authority, because we create our own self-signed certificate and we configure the WebLogic with the help of self-signed certificate. So that means we will have two action plans. The first action plan is if you are going to configure your environment with the self-signed certificate, and second action plan if you wanted to go with the third-party CA certificates. Okay, so I will show both the action plan with the executions. Okay. Now, suppose that you are going with the third-party CA certificates. Okay, so let me tell you before that one, if you are going with the self-signed certificate, so there is a straightforward command that where you can export and import a self-signed certificate, and once your key store is ready, you can directly jump into the last step, which is the configuration of the WebLogic with your custom identity and custom trust. Okay, but if you are going with a third-party CA certificate, then you have to go and follow all these steps. Okay, so now when we configure the WebLogic with the third-party CA certificate, so what we do after creation of the key store, okay, we create the CSR, certificate signing request. Okay, and this CSR need to send to the certificate authority. Okay, and what this CSR exists? This CSR contain your identity along with your public key, right? So because this CA certificate authority is going to certify that you are the correct identity, right? And along with that, it is going to release some trusted certificate for you, right? So you need to provide your public key and identity to the C authority, and for that we generate the CSR, right? So once you generate and send the CSR to certificate authority, you have to pay the amount for that one. What is the amount of the CA authority? And once the amount is paid, then you will receive the three certificates. This is very important step. What all are the different kind of certificates that we receive? Okay, so the certificate that we receive is the digitally signed personal certificate, which is also called the public certificate or sometime also referred as a server certificate, which will containing your public key, or this is a digitally signed public key, right? So because the CSR, we have sent the public key along with the identity. So the authority is going to send back your public key in a certificate, which is called the digitally signed public key certificate, which is also referred as public certificate or maybe the personal certificate. This is the first certificate. Second, you will get an intermediate certificate, and third, you are going to root certificate. Okay, so these are the three important certificates that you are going to receive. I am again repeating. The first is called the digitally signed public certificate, or maybe sometime it is referred as personal certificate, or sometime it is also referred as only the server certificate, which contain your digitally signed public key. okay, along with your DNS information, or you can say about your identity. For example, if you are going to take the certificate for digitalsystems.com, so this public certificate, digital certificate, will contain your public key along with your domain name information. Along with that, we will get the intermediate certificate and root certificate. So this first certificate is for identity, okay, and root and intermediate certificate there for the trust. It is to create the trust by the browser, right? So now what will happen? These three certificates you need to import in two different key stores, right? So what we have learned about so far, the stores, we have a two different kind of a key stores. One is the identity store and second is the trust store, right? So once we receive these three certificate, what all certificates need to import in which store, and what is the order of that one, that you need to make it sure here, right? So we import the first public, the personal certificate, along with the intermediate certificate in our identity key store. So that means out of these three, the first certificate, which is your personal or public certificate, second is your intermediate certificate. So these two certificate need to import in your identity key store, which was created in the first step here. Third is the root certificate, and this root certificate need to import in the trust store. Okay, so we haven't created any trust store so far. So when you are running the import command to import this root certificate in the key trust store, it will automatically create for you during the import. Okay, we can specify a name there for the store. Okay, we can give the store name. For example, we can give the my trust, okay, dot pkcs12. So it will import this root certificate in this key store and it is automatically created for you, right? So in a nutshell, what are the important things what we have learned? Out of three certificates, the public certificate, the first public certificate along with the intermediate certificate we import in our identity key store. Root certificate we import in the trust store. Now practically, you will see a different kind of practices at this level, that you will see that some people may be importing all three certificates in the identity store. Sometimes you will see that some people are importing intermediate and root certificate in the trust store. So you will see a multiple kind of a permutation and combination. That is because of the lack of understandings. Okay. So the correct order is your public or private or your public or personal certificate along with the intermediate certificate need to be import in the identity store, and the root certificate is need to be import in your trust key store, right? So now we will have the two stores, identity store and trust store. And other thing that you need to make sure when you are importing this public certificate and intermediate certificate in your identity store, you have to make sure the order of that one. The best way is you can create a single file. So you will get two files. Take the copy content of, open these two certificates, take the content. So first copy the intermediate certificate contents. On top of that, you can copy your personal certificate contents. That means in this file, single file, at top you will have the content of your public and personal certificate. At the bottom you will have the intermediate certificate contents, and this single file we can import in our identity store, and make sure this follow to this order: intermediate at the bottom and personal certificate at the top, right? And after that, we need to configure our WebLogic server from the console for custom identity and custom trust. Okay, so now if you see, the by default your WebLogic is configured with the demo identity and demo trust, because WebLogic comes with the demo certificates, right? So now we are going to configure it our own certificates, and for own certificate we have two different key stores: our own custom identity store and our own custom trust store. So that means when we configure from the WebLogic console, we select the option custom identity and custom trust, and after this one we specify the location of both of the key stores. Now WebLogic is going to read all the content of this store, so we need to provide a few more details like the key store password and key store aliases for that. Okay, that we will cover once we'll go into the execution, and I will show you in the detailed command, right? So now if you are going for the configuration of SSL in the 12c, 14c or 15c, so the all the steps except the last one will be same, okay, irrespective of your WebLogic version. The first step, second step, third, fourth, fifth, sixth till import, all the steps will be same. Okay, only the difference is at the last step, and the reason is that because from the WebLogic server 14.1.2.0 version onwards, we have the remote console. We do not have the traditional admin console. So that means there are certain options that has been changed in the 14.1.2.0 and then your 15C, which is 15.1.1 version. So that's why this step, the last step, is different, specifically only on the WebLogic 14.1.2 and 15.1.1. Okay, otherwise all the prior step, these steps are same and there is no difference. So now let us jump into the execution.